Yeah.
So with the recording, you'll be able to go back and kind of, reference it, and, any recaps you might need, you can grab that. So really let it wash over you. Ask your questions. Stop me if I'm going too quickly. It's just you and I here, so we can really customize this training. So when you open the app, and I'm on the desktop version, there is a computer desktop version of the app, and it is supremeagentapp.com. I will send that to all of you in an email. If you don't want to write it down, no problem. But you have the phone version of the app. So on both sides, I'm going to kind of speak into, as I'm going through this, I'm going to say, okay, this is what it looks like on your phone versus what you're seeing right here on the computer. When you open the app, whether it's on desktop or mobile, you're going to open to the buyer tab automatically. You can add the address right here. And when you start to write it in, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to write it in.
Hold on 1 second, just gotta get something off the screen. There you go.
Yeah. So on the buyer tab, here we are, we're writing in the address. You can see it's pulling directly from Google. So you know that when you pull an address, it's pulling the most accurate address it can. So now we have a little pop-up called Home Link, and this is actually pulling the property taxes for this property. I actually am using Tracy Candel's house as the property example here, and $2,600. She has, her house is in Indialantic, and that is beachside. So most of us should know beachside, $2,600. That's really low taxes, and this is because she's been living in the house for 17 years. She's grandfathered into those taxes. So for your new buyer that you're running this quote for, this would be that opportunity to let them know this is a preliminary estimate. Your numbers are going to look a little bit different than this. They're actually going to give us another suggestion for the taxes that we'll look at in a little bit. For the loan type, you can pick whichever transaction type. We're going to stick with conventional. Home price, I'm going to put 500. Down payment. So if you have a monetary value for a down payment, as soon as I put another 0, it automatically switched over to the dollar amount. If I go back, I can switch it back to percentage. I'm going to do 20% to avoid PMI. The interest rate, so 6.125, that is the national average right now. So when I say it pulls, the app is pulling information from the most reputable of sources. So it's pulling from list reports, it's pulling from NAR, it's pulling from the property appraiser's website, it's pulling from Market Trend, it's pulling from Real Direct. So you're getting the most accurate information you possibly can. You never have to worry if the information on here is not accurate. So with interest rate, that is the national average right now. It will update constantly. So really make sure, if you're going to be using this primarily on your phone, you want to make sure you have on your automatic updates for the app, and that's in your settings. So if you just go in your settings and look at the little search bar on the top and you put update, it should pop up for automatic updates, and you want to leave that on.
No, Rose, quick question for you before we move on from that. Is that based on like a 700 credit score? What's that based on? Because obviously it fluctuates.
Right, of course. So that being the average, the national average for what I'm not a lender, so I don't know what kind of average credit score they pull for that, but it is the national average. When they report, okay, national average is, we raised the credit score or the interest rates, now it's 6.25. Okay. That kind of thing.
Right.
So 30-year term, I'll keep it there. Miscellaneous. So anywhere right here that you see a little gear is something that you can click into and customize. So the miscellaneous are concessions, negotiations, for things to add to the closing costs right here, and things to subtract from the closing costs. And remember, this is for the buyer. So they give you a little drop down of some common concessions on the addition side and on the subtraction side. But you can write in your item name and the amount, and you can add as many fields as you need to. Insurance, it's at 1.5%. Taxes, so there's those taxes. If I wanted to, I could click into the gear right here, and now it gives me all of the millage rates for every city in Brevard County. So because I have mine set to Brevard. Oh, you know what? I should probably set mine to Indian River because I can do that. So I'll switch over in just a second, but you can definitely customize these. Let me switch over one moment. Sorry about that. I haven't done a Vero training in a long time. All right, so I'm gonna just go through this really quick just to get all that information back over there.
Let's pick a bureau address so we can.
Oh yeah, please.
That's right, so it's accurate.
Give me an address, shoot it.
Yeah, 2545 Bella Vista Circle.
Milla Vista?
Bella.
Like beautiful Bella.
Oh, Bella Vista, okay. Bella Vista.
Second
Oh,
one.
this one? All right, great. All right, so there's the taxes. You can see that it's assessed off of that value of the home, and this is the tax year that it's pulling from. What's the price, the sales price?
385.
385. Okay, I'll put that 20% back here so we can avoid PMI. Yes.
Sure.
Okay. There's those taxes. Is there an HOA?
Yes.
Yes, how much is it?
176.
176 a month.
Okay. So obviously you can see right here, you can switch this to be annual, monthly, or quarterly. I don't know if you have this situation in Vero, but up here when we're in like Suntree and Viera, there's multiple HOAs. Do you ever have that on your deals? No? Okay, I'll just skip that then. So closing date, I will push that out by a month. And this matters to push the date out because this is going to prorate everything. You're going to prorate the taxes, you'll prorate the HOA. So make sure the closing date is that average 30 days. So here we are. Probably the sellers of 2545 Bella Vista have been living in the home for a little bit. So their taxes are a little bit lower and they probably do have homestead exemption. This right here, this estimated suggestion that they give you, this is 0 exemptions, you know, brand new buyer. So keep that in mind. But my recommendation is you want to be a hero, not a 0. So you want to give them that higher number. So in the long run, you end up saving them money and they're like, wow, thank you. Oh my gosh, Kevin, you're so great. Greatest realtor ever for saving me money. You didn't do anything but give them a higher quote on their taxes.
So can we add in the closing coordinator fee?
Yes, so that would be right over here in detailed closing costs. So this is what you have as far as just a really quick end screen. When you run these buyer estimates, this is what you get. So let's just say you are in an appointment showing, whatever it may be, with your potential buyer. And they say, you know what, Kevin, I told you my monthly payment budget is only $3,000 a month. I can't afford anything more than that. So all you do is come right here to that little edit button and you can put in $3,000. And now the rest of the quote recalculates around it. So instead of putting down 20%, your clients are going to have to put down more like 25%, like almost 25%. Some people can do that. Some people can't. But either way, you're putting the power in your hands to kind of serve them what they don't want to hear and realign their expectations, but you don't have to be the bad guy. Now it's all here in writing. Proof is in the pudding. Like, here you go, buyers.
Does this app allow you to upload different insurance quotes to be able to say, okay, we pick from one insurance quote to see the payment out?
That is a great question that I actually haven't gotten before, but right here in that detailed closing costs, let's open it up. So this is where you can really customize those closing fees. So I can press edit. We can adjust these increments and everything like that. If you know your buyers don't need a survey, you can take it off right here. And then as far as other fees right here, if you have an insurance quote, you can add it right here.
Okay.
And it would just be added to like the closing costs. So you would just have to tell your client, this isn't technically part of the closing cost. It is your insurance. It's just kind of lumped together, but it is pulling.
You get rid of the 1.5% hazard insurance then, and in order to do that, it's because you're adding it in after the fact.
Right, exactly. So you would need to get rid of that, and then it would affect the PITI that it gives you here. So it does give you an insurance quote that you can adjust there.
So can you just go to, in that right there, you could just go to the insurance and adjust for whatever you have as a premium that's been printed. Like say you get 3 different printouts from 3 different companies. You could just click on the insurance portion and just punch that in per month.
So I believe so. Again, I've never actually had that question before, and I can definitely get you an answer. I just have to talk to our like account liaison who would know more detailed about that question specifically. But with the insurance right here, you see it switches over to a monetary value. So
Yeah.
if you have a monetary value, you could run it with that monetary value. Let's say you do have 3 quotes for insurance, you would just have to do 3 separate buyer estimates.
Yeah, that's fine. Just yeah, it'll help a lot because the insurance is varying so much right now.
It
between companies.
is.
I had
Honestly,
one,
I'm surprised I haven't gotten that question yet. That's really surprising. So thank you. Thank
I
you
had
for
one
that.
property that varied between $2,400 and $5,200 for the exact same.
Wow, no way.
So there's no changes on the policy at all. It was just 3 different companies varied a $2,500 difference.
That's insane. That is just insane. My gosh, I feel so grateful that I bought my house when I did. So yeah, so you can put a monetary value in there. You would just have to run 3 quotes. Are we good on that? Can I go back to my spiel? All right, awesome. So right below detail closing costs where you can edit all of that, you can press this. So this is where if you were on your phone, you would just turn it to the side and you get how offer price can affect my payment. I love this one. I think this is another one of those tools that it puts the power in your hands to realign people's expectations. Because here you have it. Okay, well, buyer, if you offer $10,000 more for this property, that's your dream home that you really want more than anything else in the whole world, excuse me, all you'll have to do is pay $74 more per month. That's like 1 decent dinner out or 2 average dinners. I think people can spare that, you know, a few different Starbucks coffees, less a month. And especially if it's their dream home, they're going to want to do that. So now you get to show them, here, take a look at this. I know you said your budget's only $3,000 a month, but if you offer $10,000 more and make your offer much more enticing, you only have to pay $74 more. You can go right here and adjust those increments. So it doesn't have to be 10,000. It can be from 1,000 to 100,000. You can show the monthly payments or the difference. So we can show it this way as well, adding $74 minus $73, that kind of thing. Then you use that little share icon. This is the universal share icon if you're not familiar with it. And that's how you share it to your clients. I love that one. When you're on the top over here from the estimate, you see there's a couple things over here. If you're on your phone, you're going to swipe to the left or swipe to the right to get to here. You have a smart compare tool. So I know a lot of us have preferred lenders. If you want to direct your lenders to go on this app as well so that they can work alongside you, you know, providing quotes to clients, this is a great tool for them. We have a lot of lenders up here that use this tool for not just this smart compare. There's a lot of great loan tools on here. So this is our loan, what we've ran over here. And then they give us just kind of like common suggestions. Like obviously this one's more of an FHA. This one's a 15-year term with a buy down for the rate. So you can make those little adjustments. You just press edit right here and you can put down those different loan options for your clients and share it right there. If you go on the other side of the estimate, you have your loan details. And I know not many people want to see the amortization schedule up front, but if you have an investor, if you have a lawyer, an engineer, a doctor that you're working with, they might want to see this and you have it right here at your fingertips. Very easy to get. And then you have just a little bit more of a breakdown of the estimate that we have here. So now, you know, I've made my adjustments. I think I'm ready to send this over to my clients. Now I'm going to share or print PDF. Awesome. So the first thing it's going to show me is obviously my quote, but now it's on a really nice looking PDF with the address at the top. There's my face, my contact information, and then my logo and everything here. So I have all of these templates available to me. I will say, let me take a quick pause. There is a premium version of this app. The premium version is a whopping $10 for the entire year. So it's very, very inexpensive, and the app developers made it that way because we don't see any of that money that goes straight to them, and they made it as inexpensive as they possibly could. But it's very much worth it. So the first and foremost that you get with the premium is personal branding. You're able to put your photo and your contact info on the tops of all of your PDFs, as well as your company logo right here gets displayed. I'm a personal fan of this template because you can kind of customize it. Like, I have it set to like what I consider the supreme colors, you know, red, but this one really looks like a Dale Sorensen color to me. And now look at that. I'm branded. It's my customized color. I've got my photo in there, and then you would have the Dale Sorensen logo right here. You can translate this into 14 different languages. That is powerful, super powerful. We have a lot of Spanish speakers. We have a huge Asian population moving here. We have a huge Brazilian population here moving here actually. Hindi and Punjabi, all these great options. You can send it to them in their own language and make them really comfortable.
Hey, Rose,
On
is that
this-
only on premium? Is that only on premium?
The language translation?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah. It's hard for me to know because I automatically have the premium. So I haven't looked at a non-premium account in a really, really long time. So on this side with the templates, you have, yes, the templates for the estimates, but then you also have these, the home reports. Now, this is definitely one of my favorite things on the app. I think it's just a huge time saver. And not only does it save you time, it does save you liability. So it has all of these disclaimers. It has the main disclaimer at the bottom, and then every category says provided by, provided by, provided by. But check this out. I mean, you have the convenience. Hey, you want to know where your closest supermarket is? It's 1.5 miles away from this property. Super close. How awesome is that? The gym, less than 1 mile. If you have someone active, if they have kids, you have the schools with the ratings. If you have foodies, you have the food going on there. Walking score, how easy is it to walk in the neighborhood? How loud is it? Right here, it depends on the property that you pull. I'm not really sure why actually, but sometimes it will pull comparisons of internet speed. So I don't know if you can see, it's kind of small right here in the sample, but it's comparing AT&T, Spectrum, different companies for internet speed, which is just a nice little cool feature. So there's a lot of these templates for these home reports. And look, I've done a lot of these app trainings. I get so many incredible suggestions of how to use these, and I'm going to tell you. So home reports, the obvious one is sending it to out-of-town buyers, right? But what about using this social share button right here and sharing this for a listing you have onto your social media? So people not only know about the house itself, now they have information about the surrounding neighborhood. Printing these out and putting them as a part of your listing presentation so that it impresses your sellers like, hey, I have this information that all the other realtors had too, but now I have a little bit extra. Same thing, printing it out, bringing it to your open houses and laying them out there for people kind of walking in who may not be familiar with the area. It gives them some context to where they're at. And there's a lot of different ones. I love this one. I think it's really clean and professional, and it has those Dale Sorensen colors kind of like already built into it. But there's other ones. There's this one that's more tailored towards families. So it has a little bit more information on parks and recreation. It has information on the schools like before, but it has more information about the financing because it's for a family. There are home reports available for all walks of life. So me personally, I don't have any children. I have fur babies, right? So I'm one of those millennials that's buying a home for my dog. And there's home reports on here, the pet-friendly home reports that would give me the local dog groomers and the pet stores and the local vets and all the other great information. So you really can tailor this to be specific to your buyers or sellers.
Hey, Rose, quick question. And I know you
Yeah.
said we can personalize the branding. Is there any way to co-brand it to where we can put Carol? Because I had on top and bottom where you have like who provided it was Carol, then you have like your name on the bottom, like your own personal agent name on the bottom.
So we automatically, you can't get rid of this right here.
Okay,
Yeah, so
Okay.
that is there always. This is the only one that will change to the Dale Sorensen. This will change to your contact information, but we will always be right there.
what I'm saying is like, there was one template where you had it on top and on bottom, where could we
Yeah,
put
this
us
one.
on top and just have Carol with all information on bottom?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I
Yeah,
haven't,
like
no,
both.
I don't think that that's available as a customization. Because when you fill out your profile and everything, it will fill it in at the bottom and the top of each page.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that really stays is the Supreme Title logo right there.
But I appreciate it.
That would be cool though. Thank you for thinking of us that way. I really appreciate that. So are we all comfortable with this so far? Can I move on to the seller side?
Yes,
Okay, just so you all know, this, these home reports, they are available in two places on this app. They are available here if you run a whole buyer estimate, but they are also available on the premium tab, which is the marketing side of the app, and we'll get to that later. But I want you to know they are in two places. Okay, so moving on to seller. Do we want to use the same address or do we want a new Vero Beach address?
we wanna use Barbosa,
Yeah.
what's Barbosa's address?
215 Barbarossa.
215 Barbosa, it's in Sebastian,
Barbosa,
is it Lane, where is it, is it Lane or is it?
is it in the Villages?
No, it's in
Yeah,
Sebastian, Florida.
Sebastian Landings. Yeah.
So 32958, try that.
No, it needs it like sequentially.
Okay.
We could do a different one, or if I can, maybe I can try it
Right.
for it.
215 or 214 Barbosa. Drive.
214 Barbosa
Drive.
Barbosa Drive, 214
Barbosa
Drive, yeah.
Drive. There it is. Okay. Oh, two S's. That was also my issue. Okay, so we have our property taxes again that it's pulling. Check this out. Now, what is this? It's asking us for an interest rate. So it's telling me that we have a loan recorded in October of 2020 for this amount. This was either the initial purchase when the current owners purchased the property, or this was a refinance. It will record both and it will pull both. And it does pull really quickly. So if I had used Tracy's address on this, she had done a refinance in it was October of 2020, just like this one. And I did an app training in November of 2020 and it had shown up already. So as soon as these are recorded in the clerk of courts, they are on these apps. It is pretty awesome.
Rose, before we move forward here, this one is actually a fun one because it's a 2.9% assumable mortgage.
Yes.
So you can actually put in the 2.9% there and then run it as that. So that way when a buyer sees the numbers, then we can go ahead and do that.
Well, this is, so the point of putting this interest rate in is to pull the payoff for the sellers.
Okay,
So we are on, because we are on the seller side now, so this would be a quote for the seller, so we want to calculate their payoff. You know,
Okay.
a lot of the time sellers won't know their actual interest rate. A lot of the time it's kind of, it could be an uncomfortable conversation to have with your sellers if that's the case. So they do you a favor and they give you what the average was at that time. So you can see in October of 2020, the national average for the interest rate was 3.19%. So we can use that and that will give us a pretty accurate payoff within, a couple of $1,000s, which in the grand scheme of things is not so much of a discrepancy. So do you happen to know the seller's interest rate?
yeah, it's 2.9.
Oh, it is. Okay. I thought you were talking about for okay, confused. So if you were to talk to your sellers right now, you would say, hey, is your payoff this amount? It would be very, very close to it. Especially since it's the 18th and this month's mortgage payments have been recorded. So loan type, we're going to keep conventional. Do we have a sales price?
Amber, sales price?
550.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. 5 what?
550.
550. All right, so here's that little gear again. If you have any adjustments to your broker fees, you can put them right here. So let's say you have a different split You wanna do 2.5 and 3.5. Right, so when you press done, it's gonna ask you for this estimate only or for all future estimates. Please make sure you only do this one because I've definitely gotten questions in the past of, oh, whoa, my app's broken. No, it's just because people have selected this one by accident. So just pay attention to what you're clicking. So there's the broker fee. It is back to the 3 and 3. So repairs. This field, you can only put in a monetary value. Like I could put in $5,000 or $5,000 for repairs. Some sellers will know, okay, yes, I have those repairs. They are $5,000. I know exactly what you're talking about. Some sellers are going to want a little bit more of a breakdown, a little bit more detailed breakdown of what those repairs are. They might not remember, or they might be just an A-type personality and want to see it that way. So my recommendation is to go into miscellaneous, and then that way you can just add them to the closing costs as an itemized list. So you can say septic repair, 2,000, roof repair, 3,000, et cetera, because you can add all those fields and the amounts and everything like that. That's my suggestion. So taxes, there they are. Do we have an HOA at this Sebastian home?
$45 a month.
Oh, lucky. Okay. Seller loan balance, there it is. There's that interest rate. And it already automatically pushed the closing date out by a month. Reissue rate or reissue credit, super simple concept. If you sell the home within 3 years of the purchase, you get a discount on your title policy. You don't have to have closed with Supreme Title on the purchase. You can go from title company to a different title company and you still get that reissue credit. Like I said, it has to be within 3 years though, to the day. They're very strict about that. So, it was October of 2020. Was that their purchase or was that a refinance?
Purchase.
It was a purchase. So they actually are eligible for that reissue credit. Do you know what their original purchase price was?
Not top of my head.
Not off the top of our head.
I'm sorry, say that again.
We don't know it.
You don't know it? Okay, we can leave that off for now then. But just so you know, you have that available to you. And this property specifically is eligible for reissue credit.
Copy the owner's policy because the insurance companies don't need that.
All right, so here is our net sheet. This is what these clients are going to walk away with. It's a pretty good number, but you know, these clients, Amber is your name, who has these clients?
Yes.
Okay, so they say, you know what, Amber, I told you I really have to walk away from the table with $250. I can't walk away with any less than that. So here we are, we're going to press that edit button again, and we're going to make it the $250 that your clients need to walk away with. And now it's going to recalculate everything else around that, pretty much just the sales price. And now it's not too much higher. So we know that we're not going to accept an offer at $550. We have to accept an offer at least $551,139 or $552, something like that. And then your clients will get exactly what they need. But if that weren't the case, let's say they said they wanted to walk away with $300,000 and nothing less than that. Now, that's a bit of a higher number. So if the comps don't support a $600,000 sales price, this is that opportunity again to serve them the bad news, but now you're not the bad guy. You're like, hey, check this out. If in order to get this 300,000, we would have to sell it at this amount. And to be honest with you, looking at these comps, it doesn't seem like that it would sell. People will still argue with you. There's not much we can do, but at least we can help. We can try to push them in the right direction with this, right? So here we have the same little icon where you would turn your phone to the side if you were on mobile. On this side, in my opinion, it doesn't have as much oomph as on the buyer side. Because like, yeah, if you accept an offer $10,000 more, you're going to net $10,000 more. That's kind of how that works. So to me, it's not as valuable, but you do still have it available to you. However, here, this stuff on the top, more valuable on this side, on the seller side, than it was on the buyer side, in my opinion. So here we are at the net sheet. Again, this is where you would swipe to the left or swipe to the right if you were on your phone. So if we swipe to the left, multiple offers tool. This is a great tool. Multiple offers are coming back, which we're super happy about. And yep, you can add all the offers you have right here. And then let's say you have like 5 offers, but as the real estate advisor that your clients have hired, it's up to you to say, okay, well, out of these 5 offers, I think that 2 of them are going to give you exactly what you were looking for. So I'm going to put a little star next to those 2. You know, we're pretending right now. So then you can send it right here as a PDF to your clients. Really, really easy. And you can even go into the details of each sale with closing costs and everything like that. So on the other side of the net sheet, so we have multiple offers on the left. On the right, drum roll, this Tracy just walked in and this is her favorite part of the app, is the holding cost tool. Look at her, she's like, her face right now. So the holding cost tool is incredible. This is the power right here. So Kevin, you are in a listing appointment. Everything went fantastic. The clients are like, yes, Kevin, you're awesome. We loved your presentation. We want to use you. But you know what? We really need to repaint the guest bathroom and we need to do some landscaping outside. So I think we're going to hold on to the house for another 3 months, but we'll contact you when we're ready. Okay, sellers, that is all well and good. You do whatever you think is best. However, I just want to show you one thing before I leave. If you hold on to your house for 3 months, just between your interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA, you're spending about $5,000. Do you want to spend $5,000 or do you want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars right now? That's the question. And if I were you, I would take this opportunity by the cojones and I would run with it. Add as many monthly recurring expenses as you possibly can. Lawn care, pool care.
On this, I'm trying to squint here. It's a little small on our side. I apologize, but I don't
Oh, is
see.
it? I'm so sorry.
No, that's I think it's ours. But on the principal portion of this, it doesn't show the principal there. So that's not including any of their principal payment on their property. So that's just the interest, taxes, and HOA. So if you added in principal,
No, it should be on there.
Hi guys,
Hey.
how are you? Show me where we're looking at.
So he's just saying that the principal isn't on here. So yeah, that's just the extra cost.
Yeah, that's just
yeah,
the
because,
extra,
if you
which could be an additional cost.
Yeah, because that'd
Right.
be significantly higher to if you added in the principal.
You're smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Adding that principal, taking the last 3 utility bills and averaging them out.
Lawn
Doing the
care.
same thing with your pool with the water bill. You know, average the last 3 water bills.
You edit the expenses and add it, their principal.
Yep, you can edit the expenses and add them in there, right there. So you can add all the things you need to. You can add, you know, under monthly utilities, like that's where you could add things on the side, if that makes sense, and add all of those things together and then put that bigger number as the utilities and tell your clients, like, I took all of these things and put them together to get this amount. And the same thing, they have other right here. So you can do like an annual cost or the monthly cost there with the totals.
Because that principal addition is gonna be huge for.
Huge, absolutely. I love that you can see that. I love that you can see that. And then the same thing, here, I'm trying to can you see it a little better if I zoom in like that?
Yeah, back it up
Okay,
a little,
awesome.
scroll out just a hair to get the whole thing in the screen.
Oh yeah, totally.
There you go, right there.
Okay, so, you can also adjust the increments for the time. So right now we have it from a 1 to 4 months, but you can
Right.
change it to a longer timeline of 3 to 12 months. And then those numbers really blow up.
Right. Could we do it real quick, just for add the expenses there, edit expenses and just do like a $2,500 other there on that
Okay.
principal.
Yeah.
And just do the 1, 2, and 3 months.
It's 1 to 4. Mhm.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's significant loss, you know, for someone who wants to carry it.
Huge,
Yeah.
In
huge.
addition to repairs and
But
whatnot.
you know, the reason
Yeah.
they don't put it on here, the principal, I mean, the reason they don't put the principal on there initially is because technically the sellers are paying themselves, you know what I mean? Like they're paying their own equity, so that's what, you know, like, it's not really them losing money technically. So,
Smoke and mirrors.
yeah, smoke and mirrors though, like
You're paying it to
you got
yourself.
it.
So another thing too is like, for this, when it comes to just their purely as an expense portion of it, if you're telling them, you know, hey, listen, we don't know that the market's gonna be as strong 3 months from now that it is today. This is the amount of money you're going to shell out while waiting to try to get your number that you're asking for, is pie in the sky number.
Right.
Versus
Right.
if you price it correctly today, we might save you money in the long run. You know, especially on the lower end properties, this is huge. Once you get up into higher $1 million properties, people don't care about their interest. There's so much as, you know, when you get down to $300,000, $400,000 properties.
Yeah, and it's such a powerful tool, but like, you know, just like I keep saying, it's like you're giving them the bad news, but now you don't have to be the bad guy.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, I understand completely where you're coming from, but take a look at this and then let's talk about it.
Right.
It's really fantastic. So I love this one. And then obviously you can share or print it right here.
Yeah.
So going back to the net sheet, if we go to share or print the PDF, I just want to show you really quick, you do still have the,
What's the coordinator fee?
what was that? I'm sorry.
Closing coordinator fee, where would you
Oh,
add?
yes. Okay. So that would be where you can add it, where in the detail closing costs right here.
Miscellaneous left.
Yeah, you would just press that little plus sign there at the bottom. I pressed edit up here. And now up at the, down here at the bottom, you just do the coordinator fee right there.
We add like 250 or 300, whatever it is now.
Would you just go 300, you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
sometimes 350.
For those of you guys
So
who don't know, stop with an HOA when you're transferring everything over. So
They charge to give us the reports,
Yeah.
not to be able to
Yeah.
correctly collect.
Yeah.
Yeah, they charge us.
So you do still have the availability to change into all those languages, the 14 languages. The home reports that I was showing you before are not available on the seller tab. So there's going to be a significantly less amount of templates on here. You do still have that one that I was showing you. So if you wanted to brand yourself and have this one be your PDF template that you use all the time, they have it on both sides. And you can still customize the color and everything like that. So do we have any questions about the seller side before I move on? And by the way, Kevin, your questions are super thought-provoking and are making me really want to ask the developers a lot of questions, and I appreciate them a lot. So here we have our calculators. I'm up here in the calculators tab. These are how many calculators you have available to you on this app. I mean, this is mind-blowing to me anyway. I mean, you have your sell to net, of course, you have your buyer estimate, but look at that, you have a buy down calculator. This is huge right now. I mean, how many deals are you doing with buy downs? I'm hearing a ton. So you have this whole calculator to do that. You have then versus now. So this is about interest rates, comparing interest rates and purchasing homes, home prices, all of that kind of stuff from a certain amount of years ago versus now. If you have a client that just wants the closing fees from Supreme Title, you can come right here and it's a really easy drop and click. You just have to know a couple of pieces of information and you're good to go.
Rose, real
On
quick,
the,
Rose,
Mhm.
just for a point, can you go up to the buy down calculator?
yes,
So with this, what we're seeing a lot of is when we go to click on a lot of houses on the MLS, you're seeing a lot of sellers, agents and sellers doing buy down offers of like say $10,000 or $5,000 to buy down the rate because the rates are so high. So on the calculator here, are you able to go ahead and just for a seller, because I understand this could be for a buyer or seller. but
yep,
show
it gives you the option right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, show the seller how beneficial this would be to be able to buy down someone's rate in order to get them, so do an automatic concession. And just can you run through a quick one to show everybody?
Absolutely. Did you want to use this address or the Sebastian?
Let's just use the Barbosa one again, if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Next. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention about the payoff. It pulls this payoff based on a 30-year fixed term. If you go into this gear right here, you can switch that to a 15-year term. You can also make just further adjustments to the loan. One thing that you're not able to do is acknowledge extra payments. So if that seller has been making $200 extra payment every month, you won't be able to reflect that here.
But you can ultimately, if you do get their payoff, just edit to the whatever payoff they have, correct?
Yeah,
If it-
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And honestly, getting whatever payoff the app gives you, even without that $200 extra per month, it's really, really close.
Okay.
Close enough to where it doesn't make so much of a difference on the quote. Excuse me. Especially because you tell your clients, this is a preliminary estimate, these aren't your final numbers.
Right, this was $550 for list price.
Oh, it was? I thought, okay.
Yeah, $550.
Oh, yeah, it was. You're right. All right, so then we can choose the buy down type.
I'm kind of unfamiliar with the difference between a 2-1 versus a 3-2-1.
I'm not either. I'm a marketing coordinator, not a lender. I have no idea what the difference between a 2-1 buy down and a 3-2-1 buy down.
Well, it's still a permanent buy down, so I know what that is. So do a
Yeah, they
permanent
do
buy down.
offer it on here.
What was the question though?
Like, what's the difference between the two? Tracy was a mortgage lender for 10 years, so.
Oh, perfect.
she definitely-
Probably, the difference is probably the amount of time it's amortized over, right? So it's, so for the first 2 years, it'll be amortized over 30 years, and then it'll probably be like a balloon is what they'll present. Is that what you
Okay.
mean? And then a 3-1 buy down is probably amortized over 30 years for the first 3 years, and then it'll probably be a balloon, and that's how people get you to refinance. I'm
Right,
not
so-
100% sure, but that's what it used to be as far as back
So
in the
let's
day.
go straight permanent buy down then, because you're just gonna buy down your rate on a 30-year fixed anyway. So,
Correct.
yeah, it doesn't make any difference. All right, and then with the buy down there, what is it to give you an exact does it give you exact number that you're able to use to buy down, or do you have to break down how many basis points or whatever you're buying it down by?
Let's see, they give you discount points, which is right there. This, can I be honest with you, this was just added.
They just added this. We have not had an
like,
opportunity to
2
play around.
weeks ago, so I
Yeah.
apologize.
So the hard thing is that with, as you know, with like you being an MLO, when going back and you talk about buying down basis points, it breaks down to a certain percentage, like 0.13% of the actual monthly payment comes off per so many basis points. So there's 25, 50, 100 basis points. So I know it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. When you say, okay, I'm gonna buy down this, you think it's an interest rate, I'm buying 1%. 1% isn't actually 1%, it's like 1/3%,
Okay,
right? You know what I'm saying? So like
yeah,
if
of
I say,
course. I mean, it
wanna buy
says it right here, enter the number of points to buy down, each point is equal to a quarter of the interest rate and the cost is
Right.
1%. So, I mean, this is a great, we also, part of this program, you can plug in, you can discuss this with your lender,
I
that you
mentioned
did
that,
talk to
yeah.
him about this. And there might be a video that Mike Pyburn might
He
have
probably
posted.
did, yeah.
You wrote question, let's write this question down so
Yeah,
that
I
we
have a
can get you
couple.
a straight answer on this, so make sure that you can, are you seeing a lot of buy downs?
Yeah,
your
so
area?
that's the whole reason why we went down this road, is because it's actually becoming a lot more prevalent with the sellers that are really rushing to try to sell, because they've been on the market, let's just say, for 4 or 5 months, and they're still thinking of 2022 pricing, and they're coming down now drastically, and they're doing everything they can to get their house sold. And we're gonna come across this. I've already seen 3 or 4 of them in Sebastian that have they're offering, say, $10,000 to buy down rate. So obviously people want to think that it's it's simple numbers. It's just they'll buy down a certain percentage.
Right,
but really-
equal, 1-to-1.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's a third is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Or a
it's
quarter.
this equation right here. So
Yeah,
with this being a brand new tool, the account liaison that we work with most primarily, he always pushes out like a lot of tutorial videos, especially for new calculators like this. So I'm gonna look for that video and send you guys the link for this specific calculator, and then I will also reach out to him and have him show me really how to go through
And
this.
really, this is pretty self-explanatory. He actually lays this out pretty clearly on here. I mean, if you're entering 2 points, the original interest rate is 5.5. So the new rate would be 5 because it's a 0.25% each time, similar to what you said at a third. And the cost
Right.
for 2 points on a $100,000 loan would be $2,000. So it's pretty straight numbers.
Math works out to me.
Yeah,
and
math,
I'm
yeah.
not good at math, so if I understand.
But we
it.
will see for further tutorials if we can find you something that maybe helpful.
Yeah,
And also they, if you notice, they did it very conservative. They put 1/4% instead of 1/3. It really
You
breaks
want
down.
that. You want to be a
Yeah.
hero versus a zero, I always say. It's the most important thing. Nobody's ever said to me, I don't want more money,
Right, right.
right? Nobody ever
Yeah.
comes back to you and is like, you're giving me too much money back. I would rather. But the flip flop is, much worse. So
yeah, if they have to shell out more money, then
Yeah.
they're not.
So at least with this, we get a clearer idea. Even with the payoffs, I tell this to Rose all the time, people are always going to estimate their payoffs or more until they
And the
actually get the payoff and they're like, oh, okay, well, that's different.
Yeah.
The last
Um,
question I had was, will this update with the current day's coupon?
yes, yes,
Okay.
this is the best part of this app, that it's real time. So really, you'll see it. Rose pointed that out to me one day. She's like, look, it changes the interest rate. So they are right on top of it. It's amazing.
Yeah, as soon as everything is recorded, it's in here. So do we want to continue to run through it? Do you want to keep giving me these numbers?
Yeah, just do one example here, just finish this first example.
Do you want to keep that at 10%?
Yeah, it's just down payment, that's not the actual buy down amount. But
Yep.
we'll put so for each point, it was what, 1/4? So
Yes.
it's just, yeah,
Yes.
so let's just say we're gonna buy down 2%.
So you saw it just adjusted everything as soon as I put in a number. So it jumped, it went from 6.125 to 5.625. With this
Okay.
amount as a seller's contribution.
Right, so it's just, so roughly 10,000 at the current rate, current interest rate, current coupon, if you will. It's about $10,000 to buy down 2 points. And 2 points only 2 points equivalates to a little under half of an interest rate percent. Has everyone got that? I know it's a lot of math.
But have the interest rate percent over 30 years is a lot. is a
Right,
lot of money
over
to buy.
30, right. You might, your buyer or seller might be thinking, well, what's a 0.5% over a very long period of time, amortized over 30 years? That is, could be like $100,000 on a property. So with that said, if you offer as a seller contribution, let's say it's $9,900, say $10,000 round numbers. That two discount points that you bought that buyer gave you 0.5% off of their interest rate. And by doing that, you literally could save them at the end of that 30-year loan. If this is someone in their 50s that's buying their forever home, this is a really good calculator because you know how much money you're gonna save them and they're probably gonna stay there. If this is someone that's 25 years old, is buying their first home, you know they'll be out in 3 years, probably 6 to 1, half dozen the other, not really gonna care too much. So it just depends on who your client is that you're trying to work with. But so with this a seller loan balance. So this starts to break down what the total cost is for the seller at the end of the day, right? Like,
Yeah,
after
and
when
that's
I
what the
solve that,
assumptions are as well. Cause this is all, now it's asking the assumptions on the seller side.
Right, so this is just getting down to the nitty gritty. If the seller goes to closing and he pays off 2 points, what's he gonna leave with essentially?
Yeah.
Right.
So do we know, I don't remember what the loan balance was. It was definitely one of these 260s.
Yeah, because they had finished with 250 in their pocket. It was like 248.9 or whatever. So try
Yeah.
the 257.
I'll just do this 261.
Okay, that works. All right.
30-year term, there's the average tax.
Yeah.
There's that. And, oh, let me push that out. That's important.
30 days, yeah.
And compute. Just gonna miss call.
And what do they leave with? Yeah, 243. Okay.
So now it's showing both sides. You can see the buyer's benefits
Right.
in that column and then the seller's benefits over here.
Very
And
cool.
there's separate links to share those right there.
That's awesome.
All right. It is, isn't it? I actually haven't been on this calculator yet, so this is pretty cool. So you can also, here's the summary. And then if you go over, remember this is swiping to the right. You can get the loan details. Okay, that's cool. It kind of shows both on one sheet. And then the comparison. Awesome stuff. Are we ready to go out of here?
Yep, go ahead, go on, whatever you need to do.
Okay. So I'm glad you asked me to go through these. Are there any other calculators you want to go through, because if I spent time going through all of
Yeah.
these, we would be here for hours and hours,
No,
so.
you're good.
Yeah, I
It's
leave this
it's just
on
good
you.
Point out the extra payment one, the extra payment ones for, especially for young buyers that are trying to pay off their
Oh,
house.
that's a big one.
Yeah, if you have someone that's taking a 30-year mortgage, you can have them pay it off in 15 to 17 years, depending on if they put it, so much more down per month. So every month they put an extra $200-300, they can turn a 30-year into a 17-year very quickly.
Towards their principal.
Yeah, towards their principal, yeah.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
you have refi, there's that multiple offers tool, so you don't have to run a wholesaler net sheet to get that multiple offers tool, you can just come right here. Same thing with the smart compare for the loan options, you have a TRID calculator. And then there's these iBuyer calculators. So iBuyers are those like Open Door, Redfin, Zillow, like that kind of thing. To where it's like an agentless situation for the sellers. And this iBuyer comparison is really, really powerful. I mean, that is being in an appointment with somebody and them saying, okay, I just want to be honest with you. I had an appointment with with Redfin or with Open Door, and I'm really considering going with them. And now you say, I can understand how they made it look really appealing, but here's the actual numbers of how it compares of closing with listing with a realtor or listing with a iBuyer.
So does that give you like a national average of the amount of money that they tend to lose with using those?
Mm-hmm.
So like the list price versus actual sale price kind of thing?
Yeah. So you can click into more info about what is an iBuyer.
Yeah.
Here too, they charge more, don't they? at the
Yeah,
end?
they do. So that's how it will compare it.
Okay, good.
It'll show you the closing costs and comparison for that. And then also like you get to show them this and then embellish a little bit with the truth. You say like, these people are so detached from this deal. Like they don't care about getting you your top dollar for your home. I'm here with you. I care. So you have all these calculators. If you run through these and you have any questions, please reach out to me. Like I'm available. You have my email address. I have a really direct line of communication with our account liaison, and they are very responsive. You can also do this chat with us. They're from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., I believe, and they're very responsive there too. If there are things on this app that you think would function better looking in a different way or, flowing, like the information flowing in a different way, let me know. They will take those suggestions and actually make the changes on the app. It's like totally crazy. I've never had a company actually listen to me before with suggestions, but they really do listen. So if you have any questions, suggestions, all of that kind of stuff, please let me know. I am going to go over to the marketing side of the app now. And as a marketing coordinator myself, I get all giddy about this. And it is so great. Raise of hands or just a little shout out. Do you struggle with content and posting on your social media and keeping up with all of that stuff? On the business side of things. Yes,
Yeah.
right? Even I struggle. There are a lot of the times I'll forget to share something from our Supreme Title page. I'll forget to put something on my story that I meant to put on there. Like it's hard there, and especially because there's so many platforms. Like you remember to do something on Facebook, but then you forget to do it on Instagram, and then you have LinkedIn, and then you have, if you have a TikTok, then you have a TikTok, and you have all these different things. So, this is your hub. This is where everything can live. At the beginning of every month, there is what's called this monthly marketing package. So at the beginning of every month, it'll automatically pop this up when you go onto the premium side of the app. Hold on, I'm trying here. The internet is not great in this office. Oh, come on. All right, well, it's not loading, but it's really just this stuff here at the top. It just shows it vertically instead of horizontally. So the April marketing package, it will give you 4 posts. It'll tell you 4 posts, and it's not just going to tell you, hey, post these. It's telling you why you're posting these things. You can still access February, March, all of the things from the past. So what do they have on here? There's a lot of content, like a lot. So the first thing I want to show you are these infographics. So we have standard infographics, and swipeable infographics. The way to really tell the difference is if you see this little icon right there, looks like two white pieces of paper on top of each other, that's the multiple pages. That's the swipeable infographics, whereas these ones are just one page. So I'm going to
Could
show
you do
you
the
real
then and
quick.
now?
Say that again?
Yeah.
Did you do the then and now one? That was the first.
Yeah,
template
that's the
there?
one I was going to use as an example. I love that one. And that's the one they just added a calculator for too.
Okay.
There's a whole calculator here. With the then versus now, you're going to have to plug in some numbers. Oh my goodness. You know what? Give me just 1 second, you guys. Let me log out really quick and log back in again. It might help load that side faster. And if you ever have any issues, log out and log back in again. It usually fixes them. Go.
It's so much easier.
Right, it probably is on the desktop than, you know, doing it.
Once you get used to the phone.
Yeah,
It's fine
I
too.
guess, yeah. That's very.
So where we just were on the standard infographics, that is the other place on the app where you can find those home reports. So remember I told you they were in 2 places on the app. The first place is that buyer tab where you run a full buyer estimate and you can get it when you export that template. Or you can come here to the premium side of the app and they are in the standard infographics. Oof, I hope this loads. Sorry about this, guys. Oh, hey, and it popped the thing up. Yay.
Yeah, no idea. I mean,
Really.
yeah.
There are a
Sorry,
handful of
I mean-
DSRE agents and Cardinal will just love
I'm
it.
not gonna-
I
Absolutely.
have no idea. I was just, I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah, this
here
is
we go.
busy.
The other thing, Rose, I'm just
Crazy.
but while you're doing that, the other thing too is anybody can sign up for it. But this is for the agents that use screen title.
Yeah,
So if we're able, or we get a reminder to allow people, they'll say, so-and-so is up, it's like every 6 months, I get all of an email.
We
Yeah,
renew their
that's just-
access.
Have they brought us business?
Right.
Because if somebody hasn't brought us, we don't want somebody who's using another title company.
yeah, to use.
Right,
it.
use
Yeah.
it.
I don't even understand
Um,
why they would want to. This has our fees in it.
That's
Like,
right.
why are you gonna use our fees and then go close a different title company? I don't even understand it.
I don't know.
And we've told people that before. We're like, why do you want it again? You don't even use us.
Now, last week, I told them, my sellers to use, and they wanted to use an attorney and not Supreme, and my poor people were scammed. They lost $10,000. I was like, somebody got on their email and said, oh, send this to this, yeah,
Yeah,
but that's never happened.
no, because we have Qualia
A lot of stuff.
and that Qualia system really protects your client's funds.
No, it really does. I was shocked that.
We get every once in a while, we get people complaining about having to, you know.
To
log in
access
or
it,
whatever,
yeah.
you-
But that's better.
And put it once.
That's better, yeah,
Because thankfully that hasn't happened.
yeah.
Man, this is really having some struggles with loading. I'm so sorry, you guys. I apologize for that.
That might be, you have a lot of tabs open up top. That could
I
be just
do,
your,
I
RAM.
do. I can close them out. How will I ever find anything again? I'm bad with that. I'm really bad with that. I always have a ton of tabs. So as you can see, you would go through the process of putting in the house price now,
Oh, really?
and then what the offer would have been in 2022, and then the same thing, or I'm sorry, the house price back then and then versus now. And you compute that. And it looks really nice when it's all put together. And you can kind of see like a little bit here how it loads when it's put together. Zoom in a little bit. Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
And then you could put it directly to Facebook or whatever, is that how it is?
Yes, so the stuff up here, this is actually to size it for what you're gonna use it for. So if you're gonna use it as a Facebook post, you click right here for Facebook posts. And now everything is fit perfectly to where nothing's gonna be cut off. Same thing with Instagram story. You have the opportunity to do Instagram story, and now everything is nice and tall to fit an entire phone screen as it does on the stories. So it's really, really great. They actually just added these two options. They only had Facebook and Instagram for a long time, but they just added TikTok and LinkedIn. So if we go back to standard, we have that then versus now. Sorry, it wouldn't load, but I mean, I could scroll down for a million years and I still wouldn't reach the bottom of this. It's crazy. But this is where those other home reports are. So here's a couple of other ones. Where's that other one that I was talking? Oh, there's the pet friendly one that I was talking about. Another pet friendly one. Here's a rent versus buy. So as you're scrolling down and taking all this excellent content for your socials, just be very mindful and pay attention to what you're grabbing, because they don't take things off of the app. They just keep adding. So some of the information might be outdated. So just pay attention to what you're sharing. And if it's really far down on these options, it might be outdated. So from standard over to swipeable, I really hope it loads. I want to show you the difference. Because here's that then versus now. Almost done. Here's the then versus now. Here it is. Loading. It's gonna happen. The premium's not
Oh, no.
loading. I'm so frustrated. I know. The Wi-Fi sucks in here. Yeah, I know. Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna go and I'll get clipboards too. $1. Stop. You do it. You can tell me.
I will probably split with it, we'll split
Okay.
up half.
Okay. Sorry, we're discussing the class we have after. No, this is Vero Beach. Oh yeah, there is a Zoom class. Do you guys want to join on Zoom after this? We're doing negotiating your inspection before the inspection. And it's being taught by Double Scope Inspections, they do service Indian River. That starts at 11:30 if you're interested on Zoom. So anyway, here we have the home price, all that stuff. Let's compute. Hopefully it works. Okay, what would be the 2023? Let's say 650 for the sake of it.
2022 would probably be higher.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, so we probably should go down 50,000 there.
Yeah, again, I wanted to get this at least loaded to show you something, because you'll put these numbers in and they'll be way more accurate than what I could do, because you're the realtors. I'm not like. So now with the accurate numbers that aren't shown here, but everything is now separated into multiple pages. So I wish I had resized this. This to me are the perfect posts for stories, for Instagram stories and Facebook stories. To have things on multiple pages, you can allow people to click through everything. On everything you do on this premium side, they give you a suggested caption and hashtags. So that's a lot of writing. You don't have to use all of it. I personally would probably go from the call to action and just use that, or even just that. And then like 2 of the hashtags. You don't have to take all of it. Take what you feel is the most valuable. But once you do that and you copy the part of the caption that you want, you press share right here, and look at that. You can just share it directly to your Facebook from here. You can even schedule it. It'll open your Meta business situation and you can schedule it on Facebook, or you can download it. If you're going to download these things that have multiple pages, make sure you don't click this one, click download images so you get all of them at once. And also make sure you're doing the image download if you're going to put it on social media, because if you do the PDF, you're going to be like, why can't I put this up? And it's because PDFs can't go up on social media. So no PDF.
Hey, Rose, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are they dated? Are those images dated? So that way when you post them, Cause like, for example, if we save this image and then it's scheduled to post in 2 weeks from now, but then the Fed has 2 rate hikes because they feel like charging everybody,
Right.
then, you know, the interest rate that we posted is no longer gonna be valid. Is there any way we
Right, I
can
mean,
add?
that would, I hate to say it, but that would be on you. You would have to like kind of know that, hey, I posted this or I scheduled this thing to go out 2 weeks from now. Let me just like set a reminder really quick for the day before and check to see that all the information is still correct. So we have those graphics, those information heavy graphics. And oh, you can also put the date in the caption. Like when you
Okay.
schedule it out and you write the
Yeah.
caption before you schedule it, you could say like date, or information
As
reference
of,
from.
yeah, we used to think of it,
Yeah.
So moving down, we have all this information heavy kind of stuff, and now we're going to the more fun stuff. We have filters, like photo filters that we all know and love. So this category has so many subcategories, it's like crazy. So again, you can shape it for what you're using it for up here. These are the new ones that they add the most recently. So obviously all these Easter ones, irresistible service. I mean, come on, it's crazy. They're so cute. So dynamic. I love these dynamic ones. They're very interactive. And something, if you don't know, on Facebook, Instagram, all of that, the algorithms want engagement. The more you can get people to engage with your posts, to click on something, to, you know, react to something, putting something on your story, like I was talking about before with those infographics, use the stickers. Those things that have like the emoji slide bar and the polls where you can do a poll or asking a question. Putting those kinds of interactive additions on your stories will make it show up to more people. Will make all of your posts show up to more people, stories and otherwise. So with this dynamic category, you have a ton of stuff going on here. You have just listed, you have open house, and you can put date, time, bedroom, bathroom, all the great information on the photo itself. So now everything's on the photo. And unfortunately, these days people don't read, so they're not going to read your caption. They're just going to look at the photo. So the more information you can have on there, the better. Now you can take a photo of a beautiful kitchen and put a frame around it instead of just a flat photo. As you can see here, they have a lot of the same thing, and the only thing that's different is the color on the banner. But that's how much they value branding at this app development. Like they really understand it. They actually have photo filters that pull from those home reports that we were looking at. So nearby shops, the schools nearby, you know, taking a picture inside Publix with your favorite pub sub, just something cute, like whatever you want to brand yourself as, you can make that on here. You know, if you want to be that really utmost professional A-type personality type realtor who doesn't want to show any, like, you know, any sense of humor, that's okay. This is your business. You make that happen. You use something a little bit more serious like these. But if, you know, I don't know if you can tell by now, but I'm pretty goofy, and you know, that would be my brand. If I was a realtor, I would be leaning into that. I'd be like, I'm the goofy realtor. Like, look at how funny I am. Like, I'd be taking funny photos all the time and posting them, and that would be me. But they give you the opportunity to do whatever you want, be whoever you want. Home seller staging tips, a great one. Now you can collaborate with your favorite stager. These market update ones are awesome. I feel like Kevin, you would really like this one. So you can come here and upload a photo. So I have a ton of photos of the front of homes. Imagine that. Let's see. Let's pick one. Let's do that fancy guy. Okay, so now I see this frame. I have stuff going on at the top. So this is pretty good. I'm going to move it up just a little bit because I don't want this beautiful house cut off in any way. Crop. Look at that. Beautiful framing of this house. And now, if I wanted to, I just uploaded this file. I'm going to scroll up. There we go. So now I can go right here into customize, and I can adjust all of this information to be more accurate. So the average sales price for this neighborhood, or for this home specifically, you can put that right here. The active listings in the area, the listing to close ratio, the days on the market. You have great information that you can share with potential clients. And
And on
that's
that
just in one category of these photo frames. That's just
On
one.
that one, it said we had a slide tab for logo. Could you add your DSRE logo to that right away?
Yes, yes, you can. That's why you wanna have your profile set up and ready to go ahead of time, so that when you're there and you wanna add your logo, the logo's already in your profile. It just pulls it right from there. So that's the dynamic. You won't have any of these. That's our filters on our end. Closing filters, but great ones. Said yes to the address. Congratulations on becoming a homeowner. Proud new homeowner. Just leased. When you close at Supreme Title, we very much encourage you to take a closing photo. Put one of these fancy little frames around it, and you made your client feel extra special. Listings. This one's one of my favorites. Happiness is homemade. I think it's very warm and fuzzy. Makes me feel good. Open house. There's a whole category for open houses. Hashtag realtor life. I love this. Master of multiple offers. You take a selfie with these glasses on. It's so funny. And then there's even, yeah, there's like the queen of multiple offers for my ladies in the room. So just cool stuff. Remodeled kitchen and referrals, the way to a real estate agent's heart. Happiness is a quick closing. Let's talk about how we can sell your house fast. There are photo frames on here, people, with calls to action. You are literally asking people for business by just posting a photo. My last listing sold over list price. Curious what the market will pay for yours? Yes, I am curious. Get me money. Right. I'm hoping you see the power of these really simple little things like this. You know, having brand recognition means having recognition for you. You are your brand. So post those selfies. Don't get in your head about it. Post those selfies, post those videos, get on your story, go live on Facebook, do the things. Because if you're not, someone else is, and they're going to get those clients. I want you to have them. So at the very bottom, the last category is seasonal. So this obviously was updated for Easter. They have a ton of stuff in here for all kinds of things. They even put filters on here when, wow, look at all those Easter ones, crazy. So like I said, they keep everything on there. They still have everything from winter, from fall, from National Dog Day. And look at this, even when the Maverick movie came out, Top Gun, they realized it was gonna be such a huge hit. They made Top Gun filters. So those are the photo filters. Now, couple more things, literally 2 more things. We have personalized videos. So let's say you did the then versus now infographic. Sorry, I forgot the word. So you did the then versus now infographic. Now it's 2 weeks later and you want to share a video. So you have these videos. None of them are over 2 minutes long. So they are the perfect length. They usually average more around 150 or 130. And it goes through these really nice graphics. Just kind of takes you through the then versus now, what's going on, how things can compare. Everything's very easy to read for the layman, someone who's not in the industry. And now at the very end, this is where it gets personalized. This is where it gets real. Boom, mic drop. Look at that. So now you get to share these videos and it literally looks like you paid a marketing company hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to make these videos for you. And they're just right here. It's crazy. And obviously, again, set up your profile. That's how this will all pull into these videos. And shape them for whatever you're using them for. There's going to be a lot less content here on the video side than on any of the other categories because it's just a painstakingly long process to make these videos on their end. So there's not going to be as many. So, that's why it's a long process. It's difficult. So those are the videos. Last thing, lead gen calculators. So I always like to show this rent versus buy one. So it shows you how it's going to look on your Facebook. It even gives you the option for different cover photos. So we all, this is a beachy area. You can use the beach one, or hey, if you're like me, you want to show your more humorous side, maybe something like this. Because, it might seem a little off color to put a photo of toilet on your business, but like, wouldn't that make you look at it? I don't know about, like, for me, if I saw money busting out of a toilet like that, I'd be like, what is that about? And I would take another look at it. So I actually did an app training yesterday and I got a great suggestion about these, is like, not only does this give you an opportunity to like, you know, brand yourself with the cover photo that you prefer, but now you can post the same lead gen calculator multiple times and it looks like a different post because you have a different cover photo on it. Pretty great. And you can go right here and try out the calculator. So that way you can kind of go through the whole process. And if someone comes to ask you questions, you're not totally in the dark about what's going on. You've gone through it yourself and you can guide them along. So that's what I have for you. This whole side of the app, this marketing side, updated constantly. There's new content being fed out all the time. And like I said, if you have suggestions, please let me know. I would love to share that with the app developers. I'm gonna stop the recording. Oh, do you have any questions before I stop the recording? Okay.
Then you also